Why is this girl so hard to get? She has been working for me for 3 years, and I still have not managed to get her into my bed. I think I know what to do. He could finish his sentence. He received a slap. David had never seen Lucy so angry. It was the first time she had been so angry as to raise her hand. I will not pressure her into romance anymore. I have to make her trust me completely, and then I will trick her. Yes, it is a perfect plan. But before I reach my goal, I have to make friends with her and make her believe I am serious. Miss Lucy, you cannot be the only one with such a strong mind. No woman could escape me in this company. You are not going to be different, he said to himself, touching his chest. He buttoned his coat and went back to work. This day had been very long. While she was walking home, totally tired, she saw a car coming towards her and she was scared. In truth, Lucy was forced to work late hours to keep her job in Mr. David's company and support herself. When she finished in the evenings, she had to walk a long way before going home because there were no more taxis in the area. That evening, behind her, it was her boss. She was surprised to see him coming towards her, but she ignored him and continued walking faster as if to escape him. David drove up with his car and parked in front of her. I am sorry if my presence scared you. I just want to help you get home, Lucy. Lucy was surprised by her boss's words. This was the first time he had said sorry. Don't worry, Mr. David, I can walk home, she replied, looking suspicious. I just want to help you, Lucy, David added. If you find yourself alone in this dark night, it is kind of my fault. So I just want to help you. Nothing else. Surprised, Lucy asked him. Since when have you been worried about me? Don't worry, Mr. David, I can walk home on my own. Unfortunately, David was not ready to give up anytime soon. I insist. I do not plan to leave you alone in this dark night. I need to get you home so I can have peace of mind. Having no choice and tired of her boss pushing, Lucy slowly decided to get in the car. Once in the car, she made sure to avoid her boss's eyes as much as possible. During the ride, she noticed that her boss, unlike his usual habit, had not said a single embarrassing or rude word. She wondered if he had really changed or if it was just a trick. A few minutes later, they arrived. She got out of the car. Her boss's calm behavior still seemed odd to her, but she thanked him before going inside. The next day was the weekend. As soon as Lucy woke up in the morning, she decided to quickly make breakfast and then continue sleeping because she was very tired. As she headed back to bed to sleep, she heard her cell phone ring. She looked at it with her eyes half closed. Good morning. Sorry to bother you. I think you are still asleep. She quickly recognized the voice of her boss. How can I help you, boss? You do not need to see me, she replied. Today we are not at work. Okay, boss. But what can I do for you, please? She asked, feeling annoyed. I am standing outside your door, he replied. What? Outside my door? Yes, outside your door, love. Can you please open the door? Lucy was forced to give up her sleep. She could not leave her boss at the door as if nothing had happened. She put in the key and then turned the lock. When she opened the door, she could not help but notice in her head how incredibly handsome and good he smelled. She told herself that despite all his charm, she did not like him. Without waiting for Lucy's agreement, David entered the house. Hello, my darling. Without paying attention to these words, Lucy asked him the reason for his visit. But be a little more polite to your guest anyway, Lucy. I do not think we are at war, you and I. I do not remember inviting you. Tell me what else you want. Calm down, Lucy. Even if you would not want to see me, at least give me some water. I am very thirsty. Lucy left him standing and headed towards the living room, showing him that she was not happy, but he quickly followed. Lucy did not care about his presence. She just wanted to hear the reason for his visit and nothing more. If you need water, you can get some from your place. I just came to say sorry, Lucy. I know that I have not been particularly polite to you, and I would like to start fresh. I promise not to bother you with my rude demands anymore. Lucy was shocked. If you have really changed, great, she said, still suspicious. If you have truly forgiven me, then I will ask you out. Lucy knew he was up to something, and before she could get a single word in, he continued. I am really serious, Lucy. I just want to ask you out to start fresh, and make things right at the same time. I know that for years I have been bothering you, and I want you to give me a chance to change. Do you want to come with me? He asked. Yes, Lucy, I want to invite you if you are willing, but I am not forcing you. I will let you decide for yourself, but I would be very honored if you accept. You should know that you have nothing to fear. Lucy thought for a moment, then finally agreed. Give me time to get ready, she added before heading to her room. Meanwhile, David wondered how she managed not to fall under his spell. All the girls who came near him always ended up in his bed, but Lucy was really different. He was desperate to see her because he thought she was beautiful, and he took her constant rejection as a challenge. Does she have a boyfriend? He wondered. Yet I have never seen her talking with anyone. While he was lost in thought, Lucy arrived in the living room. They were going to one of the most expensive restaurants in the city. This place is very pretty, Lucy said with wonder. He made an effort to smile and answer her. Yes, I made sure to find a beautiful place that would be worthy of the woman that you are. I am very glad you like it." Even though David was trying hard to prove that he had changed, he was getting a little tired of having to play the good guy when all he wanted was just to see the young woman in his bed. He could find 1,000 girls to satisfy his desires, but Lucy had something that especially attracted him. Other girls were willing to do anything for him, but Lucy seemed completely uninterested and showed no interest in him. And that motivated him even more. He quickly pulled out a chair for her before taking a seat. While they were at the table, a woman at the back of the restaurant kept looking at Lucy. "She probably thinks I am still one of the girls David is dragging around the city," she thought. "I will never fall for him. I am not even interested in him. I know this invitation is still part of his evil plans, but I will not fall for it." David ordered a special dish for her. She had enjoyed the meal so much that she decided to come back next time by herself to eat again. "Did you like the meal?" "Yes, it was delicious. I am full. Thank you very much." "The pleasure is mine, my dear." "So what is next now?" Lucy asked. "I am already very tired, and all I want to do is go home and lie down and rest." "Before going home, I would like to ask you something that is close to my heart, if you will allow me," David added with a sad and serious look. Lucy wondered what he wanted next. "What is it?" she asked shortly. "Do not take this the wrong way, but I would just like you and me to be friends." "We cannot be friends, Mr. David. I am really sorry. Our relationship is limited to the company, and I want it to be purely professional. You are my boss, and I am your worker. Also, remember your company's rules that we signed. It said there should never be any relationship between the boss and his workers." It was the perfect excuse to get rid of his question. "But come on, Lucy, you know it is not that important. Being friends will not change anything, not your job, not mine." Lucy knew she was not going to accept his request. She had always been careful of him, and he did not make her feel safe. "How about we go home now?" she asked to change the subject. He finally agreed despite himself and drove her home. A week later, Lucy was walking quietly home from work when a gentleman from the neighborhood stopped her. "Good evening, miss." "Good evening, sir," she replied politely. "I am new to the neighborhood. My name is Obinna. In fact, I have been seeing you around here a lot for a few days now. You are really very beautiful, and I could not help but come near you. Can I have your number, please?" "No, sorry, sir. I am in a bit of a hurry." "Excuse me." She left before the gentleman even understood what was happening. The gentleman could not believe it. He had been dismissed so easily, and he was ready to try again. The next day at work, Lucy had an important meeting with her boss, Mr. David. She rushed to gather the necessary papers to give them to him. As soon as she knocked on his door, she did not get an answer. After a few minutes of waiting, she decided to go in because the meeting would start in a few minutes. As soon as she entered, she saw her boss kissing and touching the secretary on her desk. She was shocked. She coughed to make her presence known. Then she placed the papers on the table before leaving the office. She was so embarrassed that her heart started beating fast. The image of the scene kept coming back to her head, and for hours, she could not stop thinking about it. As for David, he was a little disappointed to have been surprised by Lucy when he was supposed to do everything possible to appear good in her eyes. Even though he wanted to become a better person, he could not resist his urges. "Well, it is decided. Starting today, I am stopping seeing other girls until I can get Lucy in my bed. If Lucy keeps surprising me, I will never be able to win her." A week after the incident at her boss's office, Lucy began avoiding him as much as possible and staying alone. Since that day, she had also noticed a change in his behavior. While Lucy used to constantly catch other women in his office, this was no longer the case. He no longer hung out with them and seemed more and more serious. He had also started talking to Lucy less often and only spoke to her for work reasons, as she had always wanted. This sudden silence was now starting to bother Lucy, who was already used to her boss's constant advances. She had wanted him to distance himself from her, and now that he was actually doing it, she began to wonder. She wanted to know why he had stopped talking to her so suddenly. Even though it seemed logical, she could not understand it. Lucy was trying to convince herself in her head. Maybe he is just not in the mood lately, or he is too busy with work. I do not know. Am I falling in love with him? No, it is not possible. I cannot fall in love with him. She went back to work, trying to forget about her boss, but her thoughts kept leading her to him. She could not stop thinking about him. She could not focus anymore. Luckily, it was closing time. She grabbed her bag and decided to go home. When she got home, she was surprised to see her boss sitting comfortably in the living room. Frightened, she cried out, "But what are you doing in my house? How did you get in here?" "Calm down, my dear," he replied, laughing. "But how did you get in here? Can you answer me? Why are you panicking, princess?" "It does not matter how I got in," he said with a slight smile. Lucy was upset. "Did he take my keys from the table today at the office?" "But I was awake. I would have already noticed if he had." "Now what do you want from me?" she asked again. "I just came to check on my friend," he replied. But I am confused, thought Lucy. How can he think he is my friend when I have not even given him permission? Today I want a glass of water. Without saying anything, Lucy headed to the kitchen. She came out a few minutes later with a glass of water in her hand. She handed it to him, but he stood there, staring at her and looking her up and down. She felt embarrassed and uncomfortable. He finally took the water and took a sip. So, can you tell me now what brings you back to me today, Lucy? I am doing my best to become a better person, but still, you will not give me a chance. All I want is to be friends with you, and nothing more. You can trust me, a friendship and nothing else. Lucy thought about it. Yes, just friends. It is not that hard, is it? Lucy sighed, and after thinking for a few seconds, she agreed to be his friend. David was very happy. Another step, he told himself. Soon, you will be doing what you never imagined yourself doing, Lucy, he told himself. He thanked Lucy, and went home looking very happy. As he left the house, Obinna was hiding behind a tree, and watched him leave. So it is because of you that Lucy refused to give me her number the other night? Once I finish with you, we will talk about it again, he said to himself, laughing, looking angry and ready for revenge. It had already been a few days since Lucy became friends with David, and she was starting to enjoy his company more and more. He seemed to have really changed, and even if Lucy continued to be careful of him, she was sure that he really had changed. The following Saturday, David had asked her out for the evening. While she was getting ready, she asked herself many questions. How could I have become so close to him so quickly? Whenever I get too close to him, I always get nervous. While she was deep in thought, she heard a knock at the door. Knowing it would only be David, she got up and opened the door. Wow, you look absolutely beautiful tonight, Lucy. Your dress suits you so well. Lucy felt faint and blushed. Thank you. Your clothes suit you well too. Thank you. Do you just want to say that I am the most handsome and well-dressed man you have ever known? He added teasingly. Even though Lucy was thinking the same thing, she was too shy because of his presence. David took her bag from her and opened the door for her like a gentleman. During the drive, Lucy was impatient to know where she was going. Please, at least tell me where you are taking me. Be patient, Lucy. You will find out once we get there. After several long minutes, they arrived in front of a large house. David opened the door for her. Where are we? David answered her with a slight smile. This is my mother's house. What? Your mother's house? Several questions began to cross her mind. Why would he bring me to his mother? Is my dress right for this meeting? What if she hates me? She did not understand why he had done such a thing without asking her opinion. Let us go, Lucy. You have nothing to fear. My mother and my sister are very nice. You will see, they will like you right away. To make her feel better, David took her hand, and they went into the house together. Good evening, Mom, I am here. Mrs. Ozioma came out and hugged her son. I missed you a lot, my son. Meanwhile, Lucy was very stressed and was struggling not to fall. Good evening, madam. Good evening, my daughter. How are you? I am fine, Mom, she replied. Mrs. Ozioma had a happy smile on her face. She had good humor and an incredible love for life. But despite her warm welcome, Lucy still was not at ease. If she knew David was taking her to his family's house, she would not have accepted. Now it was too late, and she could not turn back. The three of them joined the table. Mrs. Ozioma asked her son, Who is this girl, David? Mom, let me introduce you to my friend Lucy. A friend? She asked. Yes, Mom, she is a friend. I am just very surprised because this is the first time you have introduced me to someone. You do not have to worry, Mom. Today, I just decided to introduce you to my friend. Lucy, who was listening to the talk, was very surprised to learn that despite his many girlfriends, he had never brought a girl home. All smiles, Mrs. Ozioma turned to Lucy. I am very happy to meet you, young lady. You seem like an amazing person, and I really like your calm character. I think you could make a good wife for my son, she added teasingly. Do not say too much, Mom. She is just my friend. Suddenly, a girl came down the stairs. It was our in love with my big brother, and he is in love with you too, but I know he will never admit it. Do not worry, it is his nature. He is very shy when he has to say his feelings. You will see that he will tell you. Be patient. But Sarah, can you be quiet for a second? Mrs. Ozioma asked, looking annoyed. Why are you always so teasing? Mother, we will be going. It was just a quick visit. But since your daughter talks too much, we will leave at the same time. Do not worry, my son. You know better than anyone that she does not hold back her words. David stood up, and Lucy did the same. I will be back, Mom. I have a meeting later that I have to keep. Goodbye, and see you next time, he added to get away from his sister. Goodbye, Sarah and Mrs. Ozioma said together. Lucy knew there was no work meeting today, but she was relieved to finally be leaving the house. They got back into the car. The young woman was relieved. She found David's family very talkative, and the idea of coming back already scared her. I am sorry for everything that happened, Lucy. My sister has a habit of talking too much. Do not worry, Lucy replied. After leaving the house, they started hearing gunshots ringing out from everywhere. Suddenly, several masked men appeared and stood in front of the car. Lucy was frozen. David also did not understand what was happening. He tried to turn around quickly, but unfortunately he was shot in the arm. Lucy started screaming for help, but no one was there to save them. David held his bloody arm. Lucy kept crying, not knowing what to do. David asked her, "Can you drive the car?" "Yes," she replied. Quickly, David let her take the wheel. She started driving at high speed. The gunshots continued to ring out, and bullets hit the back of the car. After several minutes of running away from the criminals, they finally arrived in a busy area. Fearing they would be caught, the criminals had to turn around and escape. When Lucy saw that the criminals were no longer chasing them, she quickly drove David home to his personal house to treat him. His house was not too far away, so it was the only way to save him. "How are you feeling?" Lucy asked. "Do not worry, Lucy. It will be okay. The bullet only hit my arm, so I will be fine," he replied to make her feel better despite the clear pain. Lucy wondered why anyone would want to hurt them. "I feel bad for putting you through all this, Lucy. The important thing is that you are better now," Lucy replied. Meanwhile, the men Obinna hired were back to report to him. "You killed him, I hope?" "Yes, boss. He was shot. I think he is dead. I hope you did not hurt Lucy." "No, boss." "Good. Now my next plan would be to get close to this Lucy, who thinks she is too good for me. I will make her mine whether she likes it or not." Lucy managed to drive David home. Lucy stayed with David and took care of his wound. She put a bandage on it to protect the injured area. She stayed with him all night to take care of him and finally fell asleep next to him, knocked out by tiredness. When he woke up, David kept looking at Lucy. He found her so beautiful and innocent. "She is my friend, but I always feel like there is more than friendship between us. There is always something very strong that connects us, and I truly believe that." While Lucy was still deep in sleep, he whispered, "I know our relationship will not end with friendship, Lucy. I am sure of it. I am definitely falling in love with you, and I really plan to take my chance." My little sister was right. Now that he was feeling a little better, David was determined to find the person who planned this attack. He will pay a high price for attacking me for no reason. David was determined to find the person. He did not want to hit him back the same way, but he was determined to let him rot in jail. He quickly grabbed his phone and then informed the police. After a few minutes, Lucy finally woke up. She quickly turned to him to ask if he was feeling better. "Your arm. Is it better?" she asked. "Yes, it is much better. You do not have to worry so much anymore," he replied. "I would like to say sorry again for getting you into this situation." "You do not have to say sorry." She came near gently and hugged him to make him feel better. David was losing his senses. This contact was very strong. He was dying to tell her his feelings and tell her how much she meant to him. He wanted to kiss her and hold her tightly, but he was unable to get a single word out. As Lucy pulled away from his arms, he was disappointed that he had not had the courage to tell her his feelings like he had thought. Several weeks after the incident, David was now in great shape. He already had the use of his hands, and Lucy was very happy to know that he was feeling better. To help him, she was forced to stay at his house for work because he was unable to go to work. She had been a great help to him, and knowing he was in perfect health warmed her heart. During their few days together, Lucy felt she had grown much closer to David. She had spent several weeks in his house to cook for him, work in his place, and take care of him, and that had started something in her. She had begun to feel something she could not explain for David. One day, while Lucy was busy handling new mail in the home office, David came in without knocking. She got scared and said to him, "But you should have knocked before you came in. You really scared me." He laughed and asked her, "What are you so scared of? And what were you thinking about just now?" Lucy turned and replied, "Oh, nothing. Let me focus on work, or you might be late." David came up behind her and wrapped his long arms around her. As Lucy tried to remove her hands, David whispered in her ear, "I love you, Lucy. I do not plan to hide it anymore." Many thoughts began to race through Lucy's mind. She wondered if she had really heard correctly. She was torn between wanting to get away and wanting to stay in his arms and enjoy the moment. Suddenly, David's mother and Sarah burst into the room. They had come to visit David. Lucy was embarrassed. She was in a close position with David, and that made her uncomfortable. "But Mom, why did you not tell me you were coming to visit me?" David was disappointed. He was this close to winning Lucy. It was the first time he had managed to get so close to her. "I am your mother, David, and I can come and see you whenever I want. We did not know you were busy." Sarah started laughing. She looked playful. "We should have come later, and maybe I could have finally been an aunt." Mrs. Ozioma gave Sarah a cold look to shut her up. Lucy finally managed to say something shyly. "Hello, madam." "Hello, my daughter. I hope you are well." "Yes, I am well, madam." Before she could say anything else, Sarah pulled her hand and dragged her out of the room. As Sarah dragged her down the hall, Lucy was asking herself several questions. She wondered how she could have let David go so far with her. She knew she would no longer have the courage to look her mother in the eye. Meanwhile, Mrs. Ozioma sat her son down to ask him questions. David knew that she was still there asking him to find a wife. She had been asking him for grandchildren for years, and this was almost becoming their usual talk. She asked him, "Why do you not look for a stable relationship with a girl to start a home with? We have been talking about it for years, and you know very well that I am starting to get old. Do you really want to stop me from seeing my grandchildren before I die?" "But Mom, it is not too late yet. I am only 24. Let me finish, David. I want you to get married quickly, and if you do not, then I will have to find you a wife myself." David knew that the problem was getting more and more serious. He knew his mother, and he knew how far she would go to make her decisions happen. He knew that if he did not find a wife quickly, she was able to find one for him herself. He began to think about a quick way to stop her from looking for a wife for him. "Mom, I am already engaged to a girl," he said quickly. "What? Are you already engaged? Why did you not tell me? Who are you engaged to?" "It is Lucy, Mom." He was trying to quickly think of a name in his head, but it was the only name that came to mind. He knew he would have to explain to Lucy what he had said. Mrs. Ozioma was very happy. "I always knew you loved her, my son. I am sure she will be a good wife for you. She is really innocent, that girl. I am very happy, David. You made the right choice." He shook his head. He wondered what had made him say such a thing. "Mom, actually," he did not have time to continue his sentence when his mother stood up quickly. "You do not need to say sorry, my son. I will go see her myself." She quickly headed towards the room where Sarah had dragged Lucy. David could not stay in place any longer. He wondered what stupid thing he had just done. He feared Lucy's reaction when his mother spoke, because he had never talked to her about such a thing. Meanwhile, Sarah kept asking Lucy awkward questions. "Do you really love my brother?" she asked, sounding serious. Lucy did not know what to say. No, not at all," she said, stumbling over her words. "Then why did you stumble over your words? I am sure you really love him, but just do not want to tell me." Finally, Mrs. Ozioma entered the room. "I am really happy to hear about your relationship with my son, Lucy. I can tell you that you made a good choice. He really is a very kind person, opposite to what one might think of him." Lucy did not understand why Mrs. Ozioma was telling her all this. She had a very bright face, and one could understand that she was very happy. "I do not understand all this, Mom," Lucy added quietly. "David has already told me everything. He already told me about your engagement." "So you were hiding things from me," said Sarah, who was behind her. Mrs. Ozioma continued, "You are welcome in our home, Lucy. We will be a real family, and you will have nothing to fear." Lucy did not understand anything, and did not know what to say. She wondered why David would say such a thing to his mother without telling her. This was not the first time he had behaved this way, and it always ended up putting Lucy in an uncomfortable situation. Later, David decided to call the police station to find out more about the complaint he filed about the attack he suffered. "Do you have any other information about my attacker?" "Yes," replied the police officer on the other end of the line. "We managed to get some information on him, and we are still trying to find his house." "Perfect," replied David. "Call me as soon as you have any more information," he replied before ending the call. When he turned around, he came face to face with Lucy. He started sweating in a split second. "Why did you tell your mom we were engaged? How long have we been engaged?" "Look, Lucy, I should never have said something like that to Mom. I am so sorry. What are your excuses for? Could they fix the situation?" Lucy asked. She was red with anger, and David knew the situation was serious. "Please let me explain, Lucy." Before he could finish his sentence, he received a slap. David had never seen Lucy so angry. It was the first time she had been so angry as to raise her hand. "That was not my plan, Lucy. Mom did not want to hear any more. She was ready to arrange a marriage for me. So I had to find an excuse. I had no other options. I thought about it, but it was only your name that came to mind. I know I did wrong, and I am really sorry." Lucy was still not happy. She was still red with anger. Her silence made David feel worse, and he did not know what to do. He wondered if he should tell her the truth about his feelings for her. "Listen, Lucy, I am not going to hide it much longer. I love you, Lucy. I am officially saying it. I have fallen in love with you. Do not be mad at me if it was only your name that came to mind." Lucy stood there, shocked by what she had just heard. "Are you in love with me?" she asked as if she had not heard anything. "Yes, Lucy, I love you. I tried several times to tell you my feelings, but I could not help it. Please give me the chance to show you that I have really changed for you." Lucy was lost, unable to speak. David continued, "Maybe this is all too fast for you, but I have never been so serious in my life." He walked out of the office, leaving Lucy all alone. He just wanted Lucy in his bed before. Now he is in love with her. He was caught in his own trap. Lucy still could not believe what she had heard. She wondered if she was dreaming. She wondered what she was going to say to him, because she felt something for him. She could not explain if she was in love with him, but she knew he had become more than a friend to her. Will I not regret it all my life if I say no to him? When he is with me and when he walks away, I feel sad. Is that not love? I have to come back to reality and let my heart speak. Anyway, I am already fully in love. Mrs. Ozioma and Sarah are already very happy to know that I would be part of their family, and I imagine Mrs. Ozioma's pain if I said no. Anyway, we all deserve a chance in life. I will accept his words because I have nothing to lose. While Lucy was lost in thought, Sarah entered the room. Ah, finally, you are here, she cried. I have been looking everywhere for you. Come with me, please. I want to show you something. Lucy went with her to the bedroom upstairs. This was her room every time she came to visit her big brother. She turned on her laptop. She quickly looked through some pictures of wedding dresses before stopping on one of the photos. Look how beautiful this dress is. I chose this dress with Mom, and I am sure you will like it. Yes, it is a beautiful dress, Sarah, but we are not in a hurry to get married yet. I know, but Mom is very impatient. She has even already called the planner to start with the wedding preparations. We are all in a hurry to welcome you into our family. Mom has already chosen the wedding date, and we do not have much time left. What? She set the wedding in 2 weeks, replied Sarah. Lucy could not believe it. How could she set her wedding date without asking her opinion? She was not prepared for this at all. When Sarah left, she remained in shock. She was lost in her thoughts. She finally went to her room and saw that David was waiting for her. As soon as she entered, a great silence settled over them. They looked at each other, but neither David nor Lucy had the courage to say a word. As the silence became more and more awkward, David came near Lucy and took her lips. He kissed her softly and lovingly. Lucy did not even have the strength to resist him. She let herself be carried away by something that lasted several seconds. She was so deep in the moment that she had even forgotten to ask David about moving the wedding date. Things happened very quickly. Lucy no longer needed to give David an answer. It was pretty clear. 2 weeks later, it was the day of the wedding that David's mother had planned. David woke up first. Good morning, darling. Did you sleep well? Yes, Lucy replied with half-open eyes. Are you okay? Yes, darling. Let us go, my love. We have to take a bath. If you do not want Mom to come knocking, then follow me at the same time. Let us take our bath together and do lots of other things, he added, smiling. Later that day, Lucy wore her beautiful wedding dress. She was living the moment like a dream. She had never imagined she would spend the rest of her life by David's side. She was still thinking about many things when Sarah entered the room. Lucy, please, is my dress pretty? She had invited her boyfriend Ben, and wanted to make sure she looked very beautiful. Yes, Sarah, you look beautiful, Lucy replied. She had spent all morning getting dressed and getting ready just because she had invited her boyfriend. Thank you, Lucy. You are the most beautiful bride I have ever seen. You make me want to get married, she added with a laugh. Do not worry. I am sure you will be the lucky one. She was still chatting when Mrs. Ozioma entered the room. She took her outside because the guests were getting impatient. The wedding was a real success, and the guests were all very happy. Lucy sat in a separate room and began to think about things in her head. My boss, once someone who liked many girls, is now my husband. She began to smile because she knew his love was real, and even though he had made mistakes in the past, she knew he had changed and become a better person. Once inside, Lucy rushed into her husband's arms. She gave him a warm kiss and hugged him tightly. I am really happy to be your wife, David. I never imagined it would come to this. You never say never. It was a very beautiful and special day for the newlyweds, and the night was going to be very long. After several months of marriage, Lucy became pregnant. There was really a big improvement in her husband's behavior. He was always caring to her, and she never lacked for anything. She was grateful to have such a loving husband and, above all, an incredible, beautiful family. She had found a little of the family she had never managed to have in her life. Life had smiled on her. David, for his part, had set a trap into which he ended up falling himself. He had planned to trick Lucy, but instead, he fell deeply in love with her. What started as a game had turned into real love. Obinna, the man who planned David's attack, was spotted by the police. After weeks of searching, they finally found his hiding place. The police surrounded his house early one morning. Come out with your hands up, the police officer shouted through a megaphone. Obinna knew he had no way to escape. He had been caught. The evidence against him was too strong. The men he had hired had already been arrested, and they had told the police everything about him. Slowly, Obinna walked out of his house with his hands raised. The police quickly handcuffed him and put him in the police car. You are under arrest for planning an attack on Mr. David, the officer said firmly. At the police station, Obinna was questioned for hours. He finally admitted everything. He told them how he had become angry when Lucy rejected him, and how he had seen David as the reason for his rejection. His jealousy and anger had made him do something terrible. I just wanted him out of the way, Obinna said, looking down at the floor. I thought if he was gone, Lucy would give me a chance. I was wrong. I was so wrong. The judge was not kind to Obinna. Because he had tried to hurt someone and had caused great fear and pain, Obinna was sentenced to many years in prison. When David and Lucy heard the news, they felt relieved. The person who had tried to hurt them was now behind bars, and they could finally live in peace. If you liked this story, subscribe and leave a comment of encouragement to support us. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.